Street gangs. They operate on the fringes of our society, lurking in the shadows. These organized groups thrive on criminal activity. Their influence seeps into our communities, often with devastating consequences. From bustling cities to quiet suburbs, their presence is felt. This essay delves into the dark underbelly of UK street gangs. We'll examine their operations, their impact, and the challenges in tackling this multifaceted problem. The UK has witnessed a surge in gang-related violence in recent years. This surge has ignited public concern and spurred calls for action. Understanding these gangs is paramount to combating their influence. This is a journey into a world often hidden from view, a world where violence reigns and the rule of law is constantly under threat. UK street gangs are deeply entrenched in a web of criminal activities. These activities provide their financial lifeblood. Drug trafficking is a cornerstone of their operations. These gangs control a significant portion of the illicit drug market. They traffic in everything from cannabis and cocaine to heroin and synthetic drugs. This lucrative trade fuels their other criminal ventures and perpetuates a cycle of violence and despair. Money laundering is another critical aspect of their operations. Gangs need to clean their ill-gotten gains. They employ various methods to disguise the origins of their money. These methods range from using legitimate businesses as fronts to sophisticated international money laundering schemes. This financial infrastructure is the engine that keeps their criminal enterprise running. It allows them to reinvest in their operations, expand their influence, and evade law enforcement. Violence is an ever-present spectre in the world of UK street gangs. They use violence to enforce their dominance, protect their turf, and settle disputes. Operation Destabilize, a major international operation, unveiled the shocking reach of UK street gangs. This operation exposed their deep connections to global criminal networks. It revealed how these gangs exploit international borders and financial systems to further their illicit activities. This operation was a wake-up call, highlighting the need for greater international cooperation in combating transnational organized crime. Led by British law enforcement, Operation Destabilize involved agencies from across the globe. This collaborative effort targeted two sophisticated money laundering networks. These networks, known as SMART and TGR, operated primarily from Moscow. They facilitated the flow of billions of pounds for UK street gangs, the notorious Kinahan cartel, and even Russian elites. Their operations provided a financial lifeline to criminal organizations worldwide. The operation resulted in a series of high-profile arrests. Ekaterina Zhdanova, the alleged mastermind behind the SMART network, faced sanctions from the US. Key figures in the TGR network, including George Rossi and Elena Chirkinyan, were also sanctioned. These arrests sent shockwaves through the criminal underworld. They demonstrated the commitment of law enforcement agencies to dismantling these networks, no matter how complex or far-reaching. However, the fight is far from over. Constant vigilance and proactive measures are crucial to staying one step ahead. Money laundering is the lifeblood of criminal enterprises. UK street gangs are no exception. They've become increasingly sophisticated in their methods, exploiting new technologies and loopholes in the financial system. One increasingly prevalent method involves the use of cryptocurrency. The decentralized and often anonymous nature of cryptocurrencies makes them an attractive tool for criminals seeking to move money across borders and obscure their financial dealings. Couriers collect cash from drug sales and other criminal activities. This cash is then converted into cryptocurrency through various means. These digital assets are then transferred to accounts controlled by the money laundering networks. These networks often operate from countries with lax financial regulations or weak law enforcement capabilities. The cryptocurrency is then either cleaned through a series of transactions or used to purchase goods and services, effectively integrating it back into the legitimate economy. Law enforcement agencies face significant challenges in tracing these digital transactions. They are investing in specialized training and technology to enhance their capabilities in investigating and prosecuting cryptocurrency-related crimes. While the allure of quick money and power plays a role in gang recruitment, it's crucial to recognize the underlying social and political factors that contribute to the proliferation of street gangs in the UK. These gangs often take root in marginalized communities grappling with poverty, inequality, and lack of opportunity. For many young people growing up in these environments, joining a gang can seem like the only viable path to security, belonging, and a sense of identity. They may lack positive role models or access to quality education and employment opportunities. This sense of hopelessness and alienation makes them vulnerable to the allure of gang life. Political decisions and socio-economic policies also play a role in shaping these environments. Austerity measures, cuts to social services, and lack of investment in deprived communities can exacerbate existing inequalities and create fertile ground for gang recruitment. Addressing the root causes of gang culture requires a multifaceted approach that goes beyond law enforcement. Technology, while often hailed as a force for good, has become a double-edged sword in the fight against organized crime. Just as law enforcement agencies increasingly rely on technology to investigate and prosecute criminals, so too have street gangs adapted to exploit these advancements for their illicit activities. Social media platforms, for instance, have become valuable tools for gang recruitment, communication, and even the planning and coordination of criminal activities. These platforms allow them to reach a wider audience, often targeting vulnerable youth with carefully crafted online personas and messages that glorify gang life. Encrypted messaging apps, while designed to protect privacy, have also become a boon for criminals seeking to evade law enforcement surveillance. These apps allow them to communicate securely, making it difficult for authorities to intercept their messages and gather evidence of their criminal activities. However, technology is not solely the domain of criminals. Law enforcement agencies are continuously developing and deploying new technologies to counter these threats. The impact of street gangs on local communities is devastating and far-reaching. The human cost of their activities extends far beyond the immediate victims of their crimes. Entire communities live in fear, held hostage by the threat of violence and intimidation. The social fabric of these communities is torn apart, leaving lasting scars. Children are particularly vulnerable. Growing up in the shadow of gang violence can have profound and long-lasting effects on their development. They may witness acts of violence, lose loved ones to gang-related crimes, or be pressured to join gangs themselves. This constant exposure to trauma can lead to a range of mental health issues, including anxiety, depression, and post-traumatic stress disorder. The fear of retaliation often prevents residents from reporting crimes or cooperating with law enforcement. This silence creates a climate of impunity, emboldening gangs and perpetuating the cycle of violence. Addressing the impact of gang violence requires a holistic approach that goes beyond law enforcement. Creating a sense of safety and security is crucial for communities to heal and rebuild. Law enforcement agencies face an uphill battle in their fight against UK street gangs. These gangs are often well-organized, well-funded, and deeply embedded within communities. Their fluid structures, coupled with a culture of fear and intimidation, make it challenging for law enforcement to infiltrate their ranks and gather evidence. One of the key challenges is the wall of silence that often surrounds gang activity. Witnesses are frequently reluctant to come forward due to fear of retaliation or a sense of loyalty to the gang. This lack of cooperation from the community can severely hamper investigations and make it difficult to bring perpetrators to justice. Furthermore, street gangs are constantly evolving, adapting their tactics and strategies in response to law enforcement pressure. They are quick to exploit new technologies and loopholes in the legal system to stay one step ahead. Despite these challenges, law enforcement agencies have made significant strides in combating gang violence. Collaborative efforts between local, national, and international agencies have led to the disruption of major criminal networks and the seizure of significant quantities of drugs and weapons. The fight against UK street gangs is a complex and multifaceted challenge that requires a comprehensive and collaborative approach. Law enforcement agencies play a crucial role in disrupting criminal networks and bringing perpetrators to justice. However, addressing the root causes of gang violence requires a broader societal effort. Investment in education, job training, and social programs is essential to provide young people in disadvantaged communities with viable alternatives to gang life. Creating opportunities for economic empowerment and social mobility can help break the cycle of poverty and violence that often fuels gang recruitment. Community outreach programs are also vital in building trust between law enforcement and the communities they serve. By engaging with young people at risk of gang involvement, providing mentorship opportunities, and fostering positive relationships. These programs can help steer individuals away from a life of crime. By working together, we can create a safer and more just society for all.